Hi, I'm Debbie, and I'm a life and relationship coach. And I want to talk to you a little bit about communicating with your teen or young adult. So, many times I see parents that are having difficulty getting through to their child. Communication is breaking down, the relationship is deteriorating. They are wanting to their child to do certain things, maybe to to live up to certain rules if they're living in the household, to help out, to not not do things such as not use any drugs or alcohol. Maybe they're wanting them to take their medication, or but basically the communications are producing arguments, they're producing conflict, they're producing additional battles, additional struggles, additional hurdles, and the um, the lines of communication are breaking down. The relationship is breaking down because that close connection is being lost. And when this happens over time, sometimes it can feel like it's really impossible to get back on the right track. And we're left wondering, how are we ever going to have a closer relationship with my child? Like, how is this going to happen? And is it ever going to happen? And maybe we're waiting for everything to get better before we work on having a better relationship. Maybe we're waiting until, for example, if your son has or daughter has mental illness, maybe you are waiting for them to go back on their medications or to be more stable. Maybe if they are using drugs, you're waiting for them to stop. Um, and so you're waiting for these things to happen. And you may be waiting a really long time because we don't know what decisions they might make. And sometimes things kind of look like this, where there's progress and then there's a setback, and then there's progress and then there's a setback. And what we want to do is we want to be able to have a close bond with our child um, during the progress and the setback. So we don't need the relationship to change with their behaviors changing, because when we can have when we can create a stable relationship, and we can be stable, and we can have that stability for our child who doesn't have that for themselves, then we bring a whole new element to the table. We bring a whole new element to that relationship, that stability, that grounding that they so need. And one of the ways that we can do this is to actually learn about how to best communicate with our child. And every person is different. Every person has a different like relational style or communication style, or personality style, you could even call it. So there are these different styles, and sometimes as parents we are not the same style as our child. And so when we communicate, when we think, when we want them to do something, it's usually from our own perspective, and that's from our own style. And it can benefit us of getting to know more about our child's communication style and a relational style. And when we can do this, then we have a much better idea of how to get through to them. With the same things that we want to do and say, we can approach it in a whole different way when we understand our own style and their style, and how that may create some conflict, and we need to understand better how to work around that conflict. And this can be so important, because it can really make the difference between getting through to them and having a good relationship, um, and not, and continuing for things to really break down. And this is something that I have worked with parents on, who are in the midst of a lot of conflict with their son or daughter, and struggling with how to how to get through to them, not only to get through to them, but get through to them in a way that's not causing conflict. And getting through to them does not mean that they are always going to do exactly what you want, because you have to remember they are their own person. And we don't have control over another person, but we can still have a good relationship with our child, and we can still communicate from a place of understanding their own relational style, their own communication style, as well as our own, and how they interplay. And so I just wanted to let you know that this is actually a really great thing, that if you are interested to learn more about it, just please comment below, learn more, and I'll be happy to reach out to you with more information. So happy Monday, and hope all is well.